Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same, so listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the Path of Night.
Last time, on Path of Night, the coterie fled New York City, pursued by an assassin from the Web of Knives. After evading interception at the hands of local Sabbat, Johnny drove the coterie out of the city only for the brouhaha to end up frenzying on the van after needless instigation from Miles. Prince Rowlands expects them at court before the night is through, but with their transport destroyed, the coterie is forced to trudge on foot up the Merritt Parkway into Connecticut. Stopping at a gas station, Miles commandeers a vehicle from a pair of hapless stoners. Now, the coterie heads to meet with Kabir outside a motel near New Haven, hoping to rouse Neil from torpor in time to meet the prince.
I am driving to meet Kabir at the motel that she said we're meeting at.
Britta's definitely still smiling and kind of does the, Neil sat between us, right?
Yeah.
She kind of, nudges Neil to, cuddle on your shoulder a bit.
He's like a desiccated...
He definitely has a pair of Wayfarers on him. He's got to have a pair of Wayfarers on him, just slumped in, his jacket.
The group of you arrive at a rundown Motel 6. And when you park in the space, already one of the motel doors are open, and looming in the doorway is Kabir with his hair combed back smooth and wearing this like an ox blood colored suit with heavy gold chains over the tie. And spotting the Honda Civic, you guys pull up and he gives a wave.
Wynn kind of waves.
Oh my god, it is a date.
Oh my god.
Johnny looks back with the most serious expression you've ever seen on his face. And then suddenly his face kind of cracks into a smile. I've never seen him do his hair before.
I don't think I've ever seen him.
Oh my god. I am so not... What do I do? Britta, what do I do?
Well, do you like him?
Wynn's face kind of goes completely expressionless, like this is not a question she was anticipating.
I mean, we need to get Neil back.
Yeah, let's focus on Neil. We'll focus on Neil.
No, don't worry about any of that shit. You treat him like garbage. Anytime he says something to you, you just shut him down. You, if he gets too close, slap his ass.
Like the actual ass or his face?
Your choice.
Okay.
But you just treat him like garbage, Wynn. He is beneath you.
This is very weird.
This is very weird, but I'm gonna go with it. You know him best.
You know what? Why don't you guys lead this? I'm just gonna be here by the car.
I realize this isn't gonna sound like... Well, it's gonna come across cheesy, but I really do think you'll be okay if you act like yourself.
Thank you, Britta.
Johnny nods vigorously.
Okay, let's focus on Neil. We'll worry about me if it comes up.
I'll get him up there, and I'll let you do all the sweet talking.
Oh God.
Johnny grabs Neil and walks him up towards the motel room.
Wynn approaches with him.
He stands up as straighter as you get closer, as if he had not realized you guys were there, and then turns. Hello.
Hi.
I apologize for my attire. It is laundry day.
Yeah, I can tell.
But I do have something for you.
Okay.
He does a complex gesture with his hands, and upon snapping his fingers and clapping his hands, you find there is a rose, and he holds the rose out to you, offering it as a gift.
Wynn kind of takes it crassly, like the thorns don't even bother her. He just kind of looks at it.
I kept the thorns because they remind me of you.
Is that a compliment?
Yes.
Okay, because I genuinely couldn't tell because you just called me a thorn.
Yes. I did.
Well, let's focus on Neil.
Well,
She does keep the rose.
I have acquired strange trinkets during my travels, and one of them was a gift from a Peruvian necromancer, and they possessed a strange mold, and this mold possessed the ability to remove assassin toxins from the kindred body.
Wait a minute. Is this that same necromancer that we met last time?
Yes.
Are you sure we can trust this shit?
I've used it once before, and almost nothing happened that was detrimental to the kindred. It woke them immediately.
Johnny frowns a bit, but then kind of just acquiesces. All right.
Do not worry, Wynn. The necromancer can largely be trusted.
Largely.
Yes, well, he is a necromancer.
I will spit in your coffee again if you are wrong.
And if I am right?
I won't do that to your coffee.
Huh, I see. He steps inside, and just at a quick glance into his motel room, there are treasures galore. And he fumbles among them and finds what looks to be a little box of chocolates. And there's 4 in all. He opens it up, kind of showing the 2 of you. Take one of these, and it will help your friend.
We give it to him?
Yes. You may have to chew it for him. I'm
Noted.
sure you can handle that.
I'm very good with my mouth.
Yes. He just stands there quietly.
I appreciate this.
I appreciate you, Wynn.
Oh my god. Cool?
Cool.
Cool.
I guess I'll see you when I see you then.
I look forward to it.
Well, hold on. Let's make sure this chocolate works. Wynn, get with the chewing.
Wynn kind of looks at the chocolate in her hand and decides that, no, we're going to do this. And she puts it in her mouth and starts chewing it.
It tastes great.
Okay.
Like there's just this assortment of flavors that kind of hit you one at a time, and everything about it tastes amazing.
Kabir, could...
Now remember, that has to be shared with your friend.
Yeah, can I have one that doesn't?
For you, yes.
Thank you. Let's see if this works.
No, it's okay. You can swallow that one, and I'll give you
And Wynn
this
does.
one for your friend.
She lets it sit in her mouth for a while longer, and she kind of plays with it in her mouth. She kind of seems to forget the fact that she is in this crappy motel. She is tasting something for the first time in...
Yeah.
She's just having at it for a minute, and then she finally decides, okay, we need to get on with things, and she does swallow it. And this isn't going to make me sick or anything. I should have asked that before.
I'm not sure, but here's the other one for your friend.
Well, gangrel. And she takes it, and she still enjoys chewing it.
Yes, it might be hard, but I believe you can handle it.
And she kind of turns to Neil. Johnny, how do I do this?
Just scoop it out of your mouth and put it in his like it's paste into a wound.
All right. And she...
In order for him to ingest it right, you have to use some blood.
Okay. Wynn bites her lip.
Yep.
And kind of swishes it all around. And kind of scoops it out of her mouth. Like, oh, buddy, I'm sorry. Gently opens Neil's mouth, puts it in his mouth.
As you look at the paste and you like slop it into Neil's mouth, you notice that whatever the paste is made of, it like undulates on its own. And when you slop it into his mouth, his body instinctively starts to draw the vitae down his throat. This gross, chocolatey moss thing gets slurped right down. Over the course of moments, his body kind of starts to twitch, and those blackened veins start to fade away.
Neil? Neil.
Neil, it does not taste good. You're pretty sure you just ate a shit ton of spider eggs or something.
What What happened?
I'm sorry, it was in my mouth.
What? No, hold on. What was in your mouth?
You didn't have to tell him that.
Didn't have to tell me what?
That I'm not going to be honest with him?
What is happening? Where are we?
We're out of New York. Everyone's okay, except for your friend.
Juvier's, she ate him.
Wait, Jubair is dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That motherfucker. I have to go.
Wait, what?
A well-dressed Kabir turns and storms into the motel room and closes the door behind him.
Where? You don't have to tell me everything. Just the rundown. Let's start with what was in your mouth and why does it taste so bad?
You were poisoned by the Assamite.
Yeah, that was...
And we had a thought that Kabir might have something that might be able to help.
I would love to tell you all about all of this. Unfortunately, Miles really wants to get back for court tonight.
Oh, well then we should do what Miles
We are
wants.
running probably at least 2 hours behind schedule. And we should get back to the Civic.
The what?
All will be explained in time, my friend.
Okay, I will trust you on that, but Miles, if you want to get to court, we should get to court.
We've been required to, but it's involving the Nosferatu, so...
Yeah, whatever you think is best.
I think we're...
Are you okay, dude?
Do you feel any side effects or anything?
Of being poisoned, or... I don't think so.
Good.
I'm still a little confused. You know, I did just get back in yesterday, so but we have things to do, so I guess we'll go do them. Might take me a couple of nights to process what's going on here.
That's fair.
I hope you get those nights, friend. All right, everybody load up. We're moving.
You've had a rough time. Would you like shotgun?
No. You like it, you should have it.
It's fine. You can...
No, you take it. It's
Very
okay.
good. No more deliberation. You just get sent a shotgun. That was it.
As a question, I know I am now one step bloodbound to Miles. Am I now one step bloodbound to Wynn?
Mm-hmm.
Super.
Oh boy.
Let's see if we can get everyone.
Hey, get a full house.
Yep.
Are you sure everyone else is okay?
Yeah.
Mostly.
Mostly?
It's been a long night.
Yeah. This is the car you guys came to pick me up in?
Yes, of course.
I thought we were in a van.
So did I.
We
Okay.
made do.
You know what? Fred, let's just go to court, I guess.
The last vehicle displeased me. Miles was kind enough to procure this one.
Whose sunglasses are these?
Yours.
You like them?
They're not bad.
They add a certain something to the look.
Something to remember New York by. Let's go.
Okay. And Neil buckles himself into the middle seat in the back again.
The group of you arrive to the New Haven Art Space. It's a cold night, and there's that filthy, slushy snow pressed everywhere. Not very much of it anymore. Outside, you can already see a handful of kindred smoking cigarettes and chatting with each other. Though now they seem to say less, and the conversations are hard to follow, unimportant, and vague references. It seems more like their eyes are scanning the streets, the rooftops, and the environment for any signs of the Sabbat threat. Spotting Neil, there's something of a pause, and one of them heads inside.
Hey, Johnny, thanks for getting us back safe. It was a rough drive.
No problem. It could have been a little bit easier.
It could have been a lot harder, too, and it wasn't. So, thank you.
Yeah, I don't, it's been a busy couple of days. I don't know if I actually thanked all of you for coming to get me. I didn't know, obviously I didn't know you were going to be the ones to come pick me up, but I appreciate it. And I would be dead without all of you, or at least not here. So, whatever happens inside, I just... Thank you, everybody.
We're glad you're back, man.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Elsa Linden has written you off a life boon, by the way.
Oh, is it? Really?
Well, at some point, as soon as we have an established harpy, but yes, that's what she agreed to.
Should probably check with the harpy on that. But, oh, okay.
I just figured you should know before that becomes a thing.
And you're not allowed to disappear for a bit again, okay?
Who is the current harpy?
I will try my best.
Lex, the court hasn't been reestablished yet?
That would be something that gets figured out tonight.
All right. We don't have one yet.
All right.
I think this is without much prompting or much planning, apparently I think this is happening tonight.
Do any of y'all have weapons on you?
No.
I gotta... Do you mind looking through my fanny pack here just to make sure nothing counts as a weapon?
Johnny takes a quick look.
It is filled with all sorts of weird garbage, like a broken shard of mirror, some long ribbons, a bunch of candles, some loose change. There's like a little pocket knife, but like one of the little tiny Swiss Army ones, not like a real one. Yeah, just a bunch of garbage shoved into a nylon fanny pack.
How are you wearing it?
Around my waist.
I think you'll be fine, Neil.
Okay, I just wanted to...
Could you maybe, like bend a lead around your chest? At least that's a little bit better.
He shifts it from directly in front of him around his waist to the side on his hip.
That's marginally better.
Britta?
I left it in the car, I think, and she'll double check, almost as if she doesn't trust that she did that.
Britta does not find a weapon.
And I guess you can carry whatever you want now, Sheriff.
As long as it's not in the open. That's why I have my guitar case. At this point. I usually don't carry it around.
Neil, did you know that Miles is the sheriff now?
I did not. Did Weathers not survive the night?
No, Weathers is alive and well.
Oh,
But
so this is like
Reese has been encouraging Rowlands to reorganize things in court.
that makes sense. The Seneschal would do that.
I'm hoping that's not.
Sorry, what?
Nothing. Let's go inside and see what the landscape looks like. He is very annoyed by the whole turn of events and is putting his game face back on.
When the group of you head inside, you find, one, it is way more quiet at the Elysium than it normally is. And there's a tension that is thick in the air. And as you get closer, you find at the center, where a lot of people seem to be giving sideways glances and peeking at and trying to unobtrusively listen to, are some chairs that have kind of been organized and are facing each other amidst the beautiful modern art selection. Is 3 kindred on one side, 2 on the other. Among the 3 kindred, you see Upton Rowlands seated, with Reese standing at his right side, and seated at his left is Elsa Linden. And the 3 of them, though they try to hide it, have concerned expressions. And seated across from them is a man who has very sharp features, a very kind of dashing appearance to him. Very nice tux. He has long dark hair that is swept back and has these piercing blue eyes. And there's a pin right over his heart depicting the Bruja clan symbol. A lot of the Bruja seem to kind of keep peeking his way, trying to figure out what this guy's all about. And seated next to him is Jane, who is very bubbly and friendly and is seems to be making an effort to keep whatever conversation that is happening peaceful. Britta, at a cursory look, some of the kindred that are here are not local, and of those 5 kind of thuggish but oddly professional looking gentlemen that are present that you don't recognize, all of them are packing weapons. Way in the back, more on Roland's side, is a few individuals that are kind of gathered in a semicircle talking to each other. And it looks to be the Nosferatu. And among them is this kind of tall, kind of built figure wearing a hood and a tattered coat. And he has this like menacing, monstrous countenance and cat-like eyes that like kind of glint despite the shadows cast over him. And he definitely seems to be a newcomer to the domain.
Britta kind of looks towards the weapons and then towards Miles for a moment, scanning for reaction as sheriff and for what she knows about the rules.
I take it all in, and it seems, if I had to guess who this is, I have a pretty good idea based on his previous taking of Hartford.
Roll me politics, and while you're rolling politics, just go ahead and roll politics.
Yep. Nope. Never mind.
You're not quite sure.
I didn't.
Britta, now I need you to make a self-control check.
Okay. And that's just self-control, correct?
Yes, self-control, difficulty 6.
Okay.
The odd shapes and unique colors start to kind of catch your eye, and you find yourself pondering the deeper meanings of those images.
No successes.
Okay. You get lost, not in the images and shapes that you see, but in the way they make you feel. And all of the things that have recently happened to you start to kind of come to the surface, and you find yourself imagining strange correlations between the art you see and the feelings they provoke, and you are lost in it.
So what's the... I mean, it feels weird, but should we just mingle, or...
I'm going to go present myself to Rowlands.
Okay.
Feel free to mingle. I'm going to figure out what's going on.
I'm gonna go... How about we just... Neil seems kind of lost, like
Maybe
trying
you
to take all the changes in and looking around.
Neil, I'm gonna go see if I can find other Primogen. Do you want to come with me?
Neil looks over and then looks at Britta and was like, I don't know. She's, I mean, I've been there.
If you want to stay with Britta too, that's fine.
I think somebody probably should.
Or we shake her out of it. But if she's enjoying herself and she looks like she is, I feel like she's our girl.
I bet, yeah. If he looks over at Miles, he looks between Miles and Wynn, actually. If either one of you needs anything or can think of a way I can be useful here, let me know.
If you get a chance, you just check on Festo. We haven't really heard from him since that night.
Oh, yeah. Neil looks over at the little cluster of Nosferatu. Is Fester over there?
Fester is sliming all over the new guy and making every effort to kiss his ass.
No, that tells me a lot.
Miles, if you're going to go over to talk with the prince, I'll be on your 6, watching your back.
Thanks.
Okay,
She'll be okay for a few minutes.
everybody stay in touch. Neil kind of awkwardly grabs there's chairs and benches and stuff, right? Neil kind of awkwardly grabs a chair and just puts it behind Britta and kind of just pushes her down so she's sitting in the chair rather than just standing there.
Every single tourier in the room gives you the dirtiest looks.
Yep.
The second you go to touch her while she's viewing the art, they you get horrific glares. Withering, agonizing glares.
Sounds like ag damage.
Neil does not obfuscate, but he takes on the body position as if he is. But does it anyway, and then sort of slinks off very uncomfortably.
A murder of Toreador approach. And they're just like, are you okay? Are you okay? And they just check on her, edging you further and further away from the Toreador.
Yep, okay, this isn't...
Did him touching me break me out? Or am I still in the art?
Roll a self-control check.
All right.
I was just trying to get her a chair.
How dare you?
Very rude. So that's 3 successes.
Okay, yeah, you do kind of get yourself together. And when you come to, you kind of realize there's a bunch of Toreador who are like, hey, are you okay? All of this stuff, and they all start introducing themselves rapid fire, and it's kind of hard to keep track of the conversation.
Yes, thank you. And Britta actually tries pretty hard to keep up with people's names and appearances.
One of them, a young woman named Catherine, tells you that, they just wanted to make sure because Elysium is very tense tonight. The Prince of Hartford has come, and rumors have it that he is very close to the Prince of Boston, and apparently this man is something of an imperial leader, and he has arrived to make sure that New Haven is well defended. A concerned Cameron citizen, and they kind of like give you like this look like, yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This guy does not give a shit.
An imperial leader?
Yes. He is the sort of prince whose glory is too great for one domain.
I see. Kind of scanning for emotional reaction on that.
They seem pretty terrified of this guy.
What's his name?
His name is Roman Pendragon, and he comes from England. Supposedly, he found himself out of favor in London's court because of how ruthless he can be. Shaw's old sire, and the group of them are very close to one another.
Is there someone who would match the description of possibly being Shaw's sire by him?
There's a Nosferatu you've never seen before, but he doesn't seem to carry himself with the level of like might that this man Roman Pendragon does, and the court seems less concerned about him than they are about this brouhaha that's just sitting in opposition of Upton Rowlands and making him feel meek.
How long have they been in these talks?
He arrived earlier tonight.
Has it always been? Britta kind of nods, just very slightly over to the conversation. Like that?
I don't know. Normally, kindred of other domains don't travel very much, so his sudden arrival is something of a shock.
I see.
Upton Rowlands refused to activate his scourge, supposedly. It would seem that were matters to escalate, our prince is not confident in his victory.
Does he normally not activate his scourge like that?
No, Upton Rowlands cares little for the survival of unwelcomed visitors. No offense.
None taken, Catherine. Thank you.
She kind of like gives a little wave, and the group of them kind of go wandering off to talk.
With that being said, Britta's pretty sure she would have had someone near her to put her in a chair. Does she know that Neil put her there, or did it just break her out?
Neil is not an obfuscate. He's just kind of standing off to the side, incredibly uncomfortable.
Okay, so he's visible, all right. Once they kind of flock away, Britta kind of looks around, spots Neil, and says, "Did you get all that?"
No. I heard Roman Pendragon, and I heard Scourge wasn't activated. I have to admit I wasn't paying 100% attention. It's being surrounded by Toreador like that at Elysium is about as panic-inducing as running from the web of knives.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I didn't mean to. They got real mad when I tried to bring you a chair. So I wasn't trying to.
All right.
Take the art appreciation away.
Neil,
I've been there
Neil,
too.
It's all right.
I've
okay?
looked at stuff and I've just gone lost in it. Yep.
So we should probably get that back to Miles when we can. All right.
The chair.
Britta shakes her head and looks for where Miles is.
Miles, after the end of that conversation, has strode over towards Elsa, Rowlands, and Reese, just progressing over there.
The trio gives you a nod.
I come up and I bow. Your Grace, Elsa, Reese.
Yes, hello, this is Mr. Pendragon. This is my sheriff. As I've told you previously, he has everything in hand. He actually just recently engaged in a foray into New York, handling business against the rebellion there. He's quite effective. Isn't that so? He says, looking to you.
Very much so, Your Grace. Good evening, Mr. Pendragon.
Good evening, Miles. How was your foray into New York?
Successful.
Wonderful. Your prince and I were discussing interdomain relations and mutual defense against the Sabbat. What is your opinion of their threat?
The threat of the Sabbat as a whole, or the one particularly attacking New Haven?
The ones who devastated a local restaurant. Surely you've heard of it.
Yes, the multitude of Dunkin' Donuts we have. It probably made the landscape better.
So you welcome this invasion?
No.
He laughs, and the entire Elysium laughs with him.
We're starting our information gathering and we're planning on attacking them not too long from now.
You're starting your information gathering?
Some of our pieces had to come back together.
I see. I will have you know that I am at the head of an army, the only army that is feared by the Sabbat. If you require help, Sheriff, you need but say so.
I'm sure that the domain appreciates your offer, but as the prince says, we do have it in hand, and the killing spree will have its spree ended soon enough.
Very good. I look forward to this. I hope that this threat does not remain as long as Arabella Rowlands has.
Arabella's threat was ended fairly quickly. She's now on the run.
The domain of Boston does not agree with your assessment regarding her threat.
How so?
Well, she's in Boston causing trouble. You no doubt have tales following her, so I have no need to explain this to you. But it would seem that your office has a great deal of work to be tending to. Thus, my offer for aid. Perhaps we can help you gather intelligence, too. He laughs again, and the Elysium laughs with him.
We have it in hand, and the kindness of other kindred is always to be appreciated, but we do have our business
I will inform the Prince of Boston that you will be... Is it you who will be going to collect Arabella?
Yes.
You and who?
My coterie.
Is your coterie full of named kindred who would like hospitality?
Ah, yes. Do you want me to just pass that on? Do you want me
He kind of like gives this look as to your prince, kind of like doubting your ability to be organized. And then looks back. Yes, please, their names, Sheriff.
He wants me to give them to him right now.
The names of your coterie. Yes, I want that now.
Johnny Saxon.
Johnny Saxon, a difficult request considering his history, but who else do you have?
Johnny, who has been standing at maybe a good few paces behind Miles, finally pipes up. And what history is that?
The history of your embrace.
And what problem do you have with that?
Well, it isn't my domain. I welcome any Bruja who has the strength to carry their own weight. But
so then you
the Prince of
my
Boston
history is fine.
You're not going to interrupt me again. The Prince of Boston is Malkavian with an extensive network of information gatherers, and he may not agree. Of course, I am willing to put in a good word for you. Young neonates like yourself deserve a chance.
I kind of just signal, just let it go. Just a nod towards you and just like...
Johnny flicks his eyes over towards Jane, who is sitting next to Pendragon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's she doing?
She's being very casual, very chill, gives you like a very desperate look when you interrupt Pendragon, like please do not get everyone killed. Like gives you that look, but like totally smiles and is really happy to see you.
Prince Pendragon, I would very much appreciate if you would extend the honor to my coterie by putting in a good word for us and making sure that we would have a smooth trip to Boston.
I would be very pleased to help you in your time of need.
Neil Foster and Britta Ashford.
Forgive me, my recent information had told me that Neil Foster had been killed by the Sabbat. Has this changed?
He was MIA and has apparently been found.
Apparently?
Yes.
By who?
He's over there. Yes, we picked him up today. Our information had found him, and we were able to secure his...
Did you just come from New York?
Yes.
I see. I will happily speak on behalf of Johnny. He is a member of my clan and a noble warrior of the Bruja. Neil seems to have a bit of a complicated story. You've obviously interrogated him and gathered all the details as to where he's been. Perhaps you can regale us.
Neil, across the art space that is dead silent, has now heard his name multiple times. And despite being a 6-foot-tall man, is clearly, sort of shrinking behind Britta as best as he possibly can.
Johnny will step forward a little bit closer to Miles. Respectfully, the details of Neil's absence from the domain needs to be kept close to the sheriff's office for the time being.
Do you vouch for this man, Johnny?
Neil Foster?
Yes.
Of course.
Then that is satisfactory for me. Sheriff, when do you plan to resolve the matter of your clanmate?
We plan to do it within the next 2 weeks.
Excellent. I will inform my friend, the Prince of Boston, of your arrival, and I have no doubt he is looking forward to seeing the matter of her presence resolved.
Johnny takes a moment to move his eyes around the court and begins counting up the brouhaha present. There were quite a few last time we were here. Has that number stayed the same, or has that grown?
That number has actually dwindled a bit. Judging by, the looks, they're all kind of, flustered that Upton Rowlands hasn't rolled out the carpet for Roman Pendragon enough and is, snubbing their clan by treating Roman Pendragon like an evil conqueror.
Follow-up question to that.
Mm-hmm.
The brouhaha who are present, are any of them new embraces, or do I recognize most of them?
Most of them you recognize. There is a handful of new embraces. Upton Rowlands kind of gives you a look. Well, as you can see, my sheriff is ready to address the many problems our domain faces, and will be using his coterie, who is highly experienced with the Sabbat, to see this matter resolved.
Yeah,
Reese looks so upset.
You know what? That's a positive. I'll take that for a win. Thank you, Mr. Roll. I'll nod my head along with his words and move back over to his side, seemingly that this conversation is at a close.
The Prince of Hartford stands. Everyone who is seated stands. Roman Pendragon says to the group, well, you have a lovely art museum, and it was quite a visit. I look forward to visiting again, but for now I must retire and see to the matters of my court. I look forward to seeing you, he says, particularly to Elsa, and then he turns and looks to Jane and says, consider my offer. We'll speak more again soon. And he walks out, and those armed brouhaha that have been hanging out in Elysium, who are not deputies, form up a line behind him and join their prince as he makes his exit. And by the time he's gone, there is just this unspoken sigh of relief between everyone in the court.
While this has been going on, Wynn's looking for other Primogen.
Primogen are gathered in back, in a separate room, kind of quietly, nervously pacing, and it seems that they are saying things along the lines of, well, if a conflict erupts, surely Rowlands can take care of himself. We have to look after our own clans, and they're kind of talking themselves into submission to Pendragon should he have decided to rip the prince's head off and declare praxis.
Wynn kind of waits for a natural pause.
They all turn to greet you. Nyx gives you a look, the Malkavian Primogen. Ah, you have arrived.
Did you think I wasn't going to?
Well, you were in the midst of a complicated evening.
That's all of my evenings.
They all kind of nervously smile. Surely you have seen the arrival of the Prince of Hartford. What do you make of it?
Is there anything to make of it? He's another prince.
Well, he has his reputation.
He's a big, scary prince. But this isn't his domain, is it?
Well, that's sort of what we're discussing.
I have no opinion on it.
What did you want to discuss?
Mostly I just want to get up to speed. Have we selected a harpy?
There has been talk of either Jane and the door opens. Before she can finish her sentence, a tall, kind of hulking Nosferatu in a hood and coat enters and shuts the door behind him. I'll be representing the Nosferatu. Pleased to meet each of you. I am Renwick.
Pleasure to meet you, Renwick. I'm Wynn Cabot, representative of the Gangrel.
Please continue. He kind of says, gesturing for those who are speaking to feel free to continue doing so. And Nyx goes on to say that Elsa Linden has also been considered for the position of Primogen.
Primogen or Harpy?
Harpy.
Is the group leaning towards any particular one?
Our preference is Ms. Linden. By supporting her, she can in turn support us, and we are more confident that Elsa can stand up to the likes of Roman Pendragon.
I mean, that's fair.
What do you think?
I think it would go a long way to Roman Pendragon having another Brujah to talk to, but I also think Elsa is eminently more qualified for the job.
We are concerned that the Brujah have a way of rallying, and often toward bad causes. If Jane is awarded power, if the Brujah have any power within this domain, Roman Pendragon will leverage it to his ends.
That's a fair concern. I mean, as I said, I think for me the vote is for Elsa Linden. But that's simply because of her qualifications, not because of what Jane might do if given the power.
It would seem that the only one that has not voted yet is the Brujah Primogen. But he seems to have not come tonight, so we will hold this vote without him.
Who is speaking for the Brujah?
At this time, the former sheriff.
He's a good man. He'll do well for his clan here.
Yes, but the question is he a good Primogen?
I thought he was a good sheriff.
Well, I'm sure some did. With your vote, Elsa Linden becomes the Harpy of New Haven.
Was this... I don't know if this is common to ask, but I assume you all have had discussions. Is this unanimous?
Well, the only one who has not voted is the Brujah Primogen, and the Brujah Primogen is one vote. So, if everyone else supports Ms. Linden, she is Harpy.
All right, then.
Nyx kind of looks among the other Primogens. It seems like she actually tends to be in control of the Primogen meetings when they happen. Does anyone else have any other business they wish to bring forward?
If anyone happens across any gangrel, let them know that there's a new Primogen here who would love to speak with them.
Yes, of course. They all kind of give nods. There's a few people missing here. There's not the Tremere Primogen is not in here. The Rob Primogen is not in here. The Torpor Primogen is not in here.
Venture Primogen is not in there.
Venture Primogen is not in there.
So really, is it just Wynn, Renwick, and Nyx?
That appears to be the case.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Call me the kid who comes in late and asks for everyone else's notes. Who is currently speaking for each clan?
Reese represents the Tremere, has voted for Elsa Linden. I believe either His Grace or Miles represents the Primogen for the Venture, whichever. They're both voting for Elsa Linden. Then there is Renwick of the Nosferatu. She gestures to him.
Wynn gives a little fake salute to reiterate her greeting.
There is you of the Gangrel. There is former Sheriff Weathers representing the Brujah. Myself, Primogen Nyx of the Malkavians. And Elsa Linden of the Toreador.
She voted for Jane.
Yes, she did not vote for Jane, by the way.
I wouldn't expect that. It seems kind of defeating. All right, well, I appreciate the rundown. Is there anything else Clan Gangrel can help the other clans with at this time?
Additional security against the Sabbat. There is some concern that we are in dire need of proper bully boys.
I'll see what I can do to rally some of the Wanderers.
Also, you don't happen to know what happened with the attack on the Anarchs, do you?
Attack on the Anarchs?
Yes.
I consider this that a no. There was an attack on the Anarchs?
There is a rumor that Anarchs have been finding themselves waylaid by Sabbat, forced to drink from their infernal cup or be devoured.
That's news. No, I haven't heard anything about that. I'm sorry.
If you hear anything, please let us know, and if I hear any more about the matter, I would be happy to let you know. I
appreciate any and all information.
Well, I'm going to return to the Elysium and see if there's anything else to be learned.
Primogen Nyx, have you heard that Neil is returned?
I saw.
Wanted to make sure you knew.
He gives a nod and steps out.
Wynn kind of, once the room is empty, gives a huh and shakes herself off because politics still just doesn't sit right with her. It's been an evening of growth.
A word, Gangrel Permission, Renwick says.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize anyone was still in here. Yes.
A common occurrence for men like me.
How can I be of service to you, Mr. Renwick?
I am here to investigate the death of my sire. It is said that Shaw was assassinated over a matter of politics. Do you know the story?
I do.
Who killed him?
This is a story for another time. I would be happy to speak to you privately about this.
We are in private, are we not?
We're in an Elysium building.
If you are concerned, I'd be very happy to make it so that no one knows we're here.
Mr. Renwick, would you be so kind as to close the door?
Conveniently, the door is closed.
Excellent. So I'm going to be very honest with you about everything that happened. It started when your sire attacked my coterie mate. He staked him from behind while he was fighting a werewolf. When my coterie mate went down, that's when Seneschal Rhys started doing things. He did things to me. He did things to your sire. And he did things to my coterie mate, Johnny. And it got bad. I was dominated to try and hurt your sire. I never got there.
I thought you were there.
I was in the room. I never got to your sire.
I see.
My coterie mate, Johnny, did. He and Shaw got into a grappling match. And I have to believe that he was dominated. Because Johnny's not that stupid.
Thank you for sharing the story. I do have one question.
Yes.
Is it true that your friend Johnny embraced Xantosa?
Yes.
Thank you. He opens the door and just leaves.
Wynn looks around again and makes sure there's no one.
You feel like the room might be empty.
Shuts the door. Fuck!
Now that Pendragon's gone, Johnny kind of slowly edges over towards Jane. You want to catch me up on what this shitstorm is about?
Well, to be very open with you, Johnny, I would love for you to know everything. But some of this shit I don't even have the answers to. I don't know why he visited me, but he did.
It looked like you had a seat of honor next to him.
I did.
And you have no idea why that is?
He wants something.
Yeah. I think he wants the whole goddamn Northeast.
He does. And sees a little reason to conceal it.
So Pendragon thinks you're the one that's going to help him give him New Haven?
Yeah. He made some pretty big offers for the Bruja. Money, shelter, power, protection. He offered access to some of the oldest members of our clan. He offered to have me learn the secrets of Enteleki.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Ancient Bruja philosophy. What I do know is that he's well connected, and it's hard to say no. But that's what I'm doing. I haven't agreed to anything. I'm just worried that I might not even be the only person he's offered this to.
If I had to make any kind of guess, he's probably trying to talk up the whole of Clan Bruja down here. Considering the numbers, looks like we lost a lot in the past few nights. But I still think we might be one of the most populous clan in the domain.
I agree. He pointed out that we were attacked by Setites called in by the Ventrue. Is that true?
No. The Setites did show up to Elysium. Miles did call in a favor. But there wasn't any kind of real fight between the two of them. The Setite thugs just stopped all the Bruja from jumping us just long enough for Werewolf to be dropped into the middle of court.
I don't know if the Bruja are going to see it that way.
Oh, they're not.
Not if Pendragon can spin it.
He will. I'm pretty sure what's happening here is that everything's being engineered to piss off the Bruja and the Domain. We lost Sheriff. I don't know what's happening with the other positions, but all it's going to end up looking like is Clan Ventru, Toreador, and Tremere running roughshod on Clan Bruja.
And Pendragon is their savior.
What's going on with this Nosferatu guy?
Renwick?
Yeah.
He's
Is that
the
his name?
child of Shaw.
Fuck me.
And he's part of the Webb. And if he's part of the Webb, that means that he's part of Operation Longbow.
So he's in the pocket of Pendragon.
Yep.
So I'm sure he's probably going to be playing on all of the old connections his sire had with all the Bruja. Have you seen Weathers recently?
Yeah, he's not coming out much.
I spoke to him at a diner. Yeah, he definitely wasn't none too happy.
I can't say I blame him. But, you know, here's the thing, right? We all signed up knowing that the Camarilla is not fair. And to get all uppity and pissed off that all of a sudden the Camarilla is not fair isn't really going to get us anywhere. And Pendragon is telling everyone that all of a sudden these Camarilla clans aren't being fair to us. That's probably a two-way street. There's no way Pendragon is going to be anything but an oppressive warlord. So I don't know. I feel like this isn't some new problem that we're dealing with. This is just our clan having to face facts that things aren't the way that we got comfortable and thought they were.
Have to face facts with that. We're all young vampires who are terrible at playing the game in a city full of really, really good elders who've been playing this game for a long time.
Yeah.
Have you fulfilled the 2 demands of progeny?
I have.
His shoulders sag at that a little bit.
And they all went off with Roman Pendragon for training. Bruja with sharp claws and red glowing eyes. All shock troops to rip people to pieces.
Claws and glowing eyes.
They learned Protean.
Who's teaching them Protean?
Members of his army.
He's just making monsters.
Yep. And if he decides that New Haven isn't being properly defended, he'll protect it himself. And all of our Bruja friends are clanmates. In hopes of doing the right thing, will sell everyone out and join his army. It's fucking sad.
So what's your play here, Jane?
I just want to make it out.
Make it out of New Haven?
Make it out of this latest set of problems. And then on to the next one. It's kind of hard to have long-term goals in a town like this.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I don't think any of us are going to make it out of this if we just play along with this war.
What are you proposing?
Don't know. I know my coterie. I know they want to stick together. And New Haven is important to Miles. And he's going to keep the lot of them here to try and defend it or something. His sire asked him to stay here as a bulwark against the Sabbat coming up the coast. If it were up to me, I think I'd just pack up all my shit and get the hell out of here. Take everybody who matters with me and just let them duke it out.
Where would you go?
I don't know.
I heard Boston's pretty nice.
The Malkavian Prince's domain?
Him and his red coats.
Are they more of Operation Longbow?
Yep.
And I really wouldn't be getting out of here.
Apparently all of the best places around here are Operation Longbow. They're the only ones winning.
I don't know if that's winning. I think it's just shifting power into the hands of those who already have power. Have we filled all the spots for the court yet?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm still kind of shook up from Pendragon.
He really got to you, huh?
He knew about all of us. All about all of us.
It's the Webb.
Yeah.
So this is just a power play then.
Isn't it always?
And it's Clan Bruja, or I guess we could just say that it's Roman Pendragon.
Yeah, the problem is when you say Roman Pendragon, you're talking about every Bruja for the 200 miles around us.
Oh, I realize. But locally, let's just leave it at that. It's Roman Pendragon and Clan Nosferatu going up against Clan Ventrue and Clan Tremere. Those are the battle lines, right?
No.
No?
Johnny, the Malkavians are in an Operation Longbow.
The Malkavians are in Operation Longbow?
Yes.
And the Toreador, are they nominally siding with Ventrue?
It looks like the Toreador, the Ventrue, and the Tremere made a nice big show tonight.
And the Gangrel are being independent as always.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, that's Wynn. Everybody else who has that lineage is gone.
I have a contact in Boston. When you guys get out there, let me know.
Will do.
I'll try to get you guys, somewhere to stay. Easier hunting grounds.
By the way, Jane, I can't thank you enough for what you did.
I think it's what we're supposed to do. When that rare opportunity to just be like a person and help someone comes up, you take it.
I don't know if you want to bother putting that on the books.
I don't.
I appreciate that. That being said, I owe you a life boon. And I can stay off the books, but you have my word if you need me for anything. You got me.
I have a friend who helped me out a long time ago, and I think they're in danger. I really hate to, call you on it, but he was a cop. Did some really good things for me and mine. A Detective Suarez is being harassed, threatened or something, but he's spooked. If you can find out what's going on, let me know.
Suarez?
Yeah.
I think I might know something about that.
If you can pass me what you can, but I owe him everything.
Let me talk to my coterie about that.
Thank you.
Jane, one other thing about my family. I lied to them to get them out to that spot where you brought them.
Mm-hmm.
They all safe?
I think so. To be honest, your wife kind of hit the road, and they're a little hard to track, but in a way that might be a good thing.
I think it's better that I don't know where they're going. The last you saw them, they were all okay?
They're okay.
His jaw kind of trembles a little bit. Did you talk to my daughter much?
Well, she asked about you, and I didn't know exactly what to say. So I did tell her that you're a truck driver. It's kind of a big part of your demeanor or your identity, I guess. But she had a lot of questions. Like real smart.
That's good to hear.
She's not like you. She kind of jabs your arm.
It's the best news I've gotten in a long time.
You deserve it. She kind of overtly, way fucking stronger than she looks, pulls you into a hug. And this is you go take care of your people. And she kind of gets up, puts a cigarette between her lips, and wanders off.
Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Ventrue was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode was edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was January Grunge Love Fest by Technoaxe. Visit them online at technoaxe.com Path of Night uses the 20th Anniversary Edition rule set of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade is owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Path of Night Pod, on Facebook at facebook.com/Path of Night Podcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred.
Let me just make sure I have the details as I'm remembering them. Shaw came out and staked Miles.
Allegedly.
It's better if it's not in this case, man.
Yo, you got the audio? Prove it.
I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, you wouldn't.